our very first segment of the West Coast Swing tutorial. We're going to do this in 4 quick lessons, so you'll have the basic patterns so you can do West Coast Swing with our club. West Coast Swing started on the West Coast of the United States. Skippy Blair was very instrumental in making sure that West Coast Swing was a national dance, but she made it the state dance of California. I had the great pleasure of studying with her out in California, and I want to share with you everything she taught me for how to teach West Coast Swing. What I liked about West Coast Swing is, unlike East Coast, which is in the round, it takes up quite a bit of space on the dance floor, and East Coast is also very bouncy and very quick. What I like about West Coast is it's smooth and it's done in a slot. And it's basically walking. It's combinations of slow walks and quick walks. West Coast Swing is my favorite dance. So to demonstrate West Coast Swing, the cadence is slow, slow, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to demonstrate with my feet and do this with me many, many times. Slow, slow, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or you can also say slow, slow, triple step, triple step. Or you can say slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, quick, quick, slow. Whatever helps you to remember. Next, I'd like to introduce my favorite dance partner and my husband, Wayne. We're going to demonstrate the difference between the followers part and the leaders part. The follower always starts on the right foot, because followers are always right. And the leaders always start with the left foot, because they get what's left over, wink, wink. So I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to show you the followers part, and Wayne's going to do the leaders part. So Wayne's starting with the left foot, I'm starting with the right. And the cadence is walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, as we mentioned, this dance is done in a slot, so we're not taking up much dance floor space. So if I'm facing my partner, Wayne, and first pattern I want to teach you is the left side pass. When we say left side pass, it's on the leader's left side. Okay? So the other thing about the left side pass is, when we start, we're always just going to start with the sway to get going. And gentlemen, you got to make sure you start with your left foot on 1 for the sway. 1. You can sway as many times as you like to, as long as it's even. Then when you're ready, we're going to do walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And notice he's just leaving his hand low. And he wants to keep it at my center. This is my center. Because in dance, if you put your arm up, that's telling your follower, oh, she's going to turn. So you want to make sure you keep it low and on your left side. One more time, Wayne. Walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The other thing we want to talk about is a good connection. So the leader offers his hand like a coupler on a train with his thumb up. Don't put your thumb on top of her hand, that hurts a lot. Then the follower is going to dive into his coupler, just like that. And then we got a good connection. So we don't want to have a full arm out because you can hurt your shoulders. You want a bent arm, so it's bent at the elbow. You want to give a little bit of resistance so you're holding back, and that's connection. If you give a noodle arm, he can't lead you to do other things as you learn more advanced moves. So Wayne, go ahead and lead me again, and walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The other important aspect is stretch. So I'm just not going to 1 when he leads me. I'm going to hold back a little bit and go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That gives the stretch. And as we do more and more complicated patterns, we're going to be doing compression and stretch. But we'll get into that in our next tutorial. So practice really hard on these tutorials, and then when you come to your first West Coast Swing class, you'll be at the top of the class. See you next time. Welcome back, Westies. So now for our second tutorial lesson in Beginner West Coast Swing, we're going to talk about the right side pass. The first movement we did was left side pass, where we're passing on the left side of the leader. Now we're going to be passing on the right side of the leader. Both movements are led with the leader's left hand. So the secret to the right side pass is going to be checking your imaginary watch. So Wayne, can I have you help demonstrate your imaginary watch? So the cadence is still the same, walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But because I'm passing on Wayne's right side with his left hand, he has to flip his hand over. Otherwise, we're going to get our wrist in some very odd positions and it could be painful. So we want to make sure we're doing this right for our ladies. So we're going to do 1, 2. And by 2, Wayne has flipped his hand over like he's looking at his watch. And the other thing to notice, ladies, I have not passed him yet. By 2, I should still be looking at him. Because his hand is up, I know I'm turning. And because his fingers are facing this way, I know I am turning to my left. And now let's do the 2, 1, 2, 3s, Wayne. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because he flipped his wrist over and looked at his watch, our hands are right again. Let's try from this side, Wayne. Walk, flip. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again. Walk, flip. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So ladies, I always want to be very protective of your shoulders. And the reason it's important not to pass him until after 2. If you take too big of a steps, this is what's going to happen. Stop on 2, Wayne. 1, 2. That is painful. It hurts my shoulder and it hurts my back. So again, very important. Still be looking at him by 2 and don't pass him. 1, 2. Now the hand is flipped. The coast is clear. Triple step. Triple step. It's also important when you go over, just over the top of my head. One more time. Walk, walk. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now if we combine our left side and our right side, it looks like this. Left side, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Now the right side pass. 1, flip. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Practice, practice, practice. Okay, thanks for hanging in there, Westies. This is the third installment of the West Coast Swing tutorial. So in the first installment, we practiced the starter step and we worked on the left side pass. For the second tutorial, we did the right side pass and how important it was to check your watch. For our third tutorial, we're going to talk about the sugar push and the sugar tuck. Now down south, when they do West Coast Swing, sugar tuck, I've been told, is because when you come together on compression, it's like you're going to give a little kiss and give a little sugar, but no kissing required here. It just meant that you're coming together and then being not pushed away, but guided away. So that's where the term came from, sugar and tuck and push her away. So we're going to demonstrate that. So the footwork is a little bit different. So for the follower, Wayne, you want to join me and we'll do our footwork. So Wayne's going to step backwards on the footwork and I'm going to go forward. So Wayne, you want to turn around backwards so they can see the backwards footwork. There we go. So now we're going to do the sugar tuck. We're going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
You gotta start over, that's a sugar push. You
Sorry.
said sugar tuck.
Oh, I'm sorry. Start again. Repeat. Okay. So first we're going to demonstrate the sugar push. And it's called sugar push because we first come together for a little sugar and then he's going to push me but gently guide me, not push me away. So Wayne, you want to come demonstrate that with me? So Wayne's going to turn around and he's going to face backwards because he's going to be stepping backwards and I'm going to be stepping forward. So for the sugar push, we're going to do walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Notice I emphasize 3. On 3, I'm sliding back, and Wayne's going to be stepping forward because he's giving me a gentle push back. One more time, Wayne. Walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, when we do that facing each other, it looks like this. It's done with 2 hands. So we'll do it one time, and then I'll talk a little bit more about the mechanics. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, when I'm coming in towards Wayne, I'm looking for a little resistance. That allows me to almost like bounce off that. That gives me the push back. So the way Wayne's able to do that is he's not going to noodle arm on me. He's going to not let his elbows go back here. This is what happens if you let your elbows go too far back. It's called chicken wings. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's not pretty. So he's got to give me a little resistance by not letting his elbows get past his rib cage. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now on the last 1, 2, 3, it's called the anchor step. That means you stay in place because just like a boat, you dropped your anchor. One more time, Wayne. Walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, and stay in place. Again, walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, and stay in place. This is where you really get to see in the dance compression, and then as we open up, it's stretch. Compression and stretch. That's what's so unique about West Coast swing. The other pattern we want to show you, which is similar, a little bit more advanced, but it's basically one of the basics, is the sugar tuck. It's the same footwork as we're coming in, so walk, walk, 1, 2, but instead of stepping back on 3, I'm going to do a half turn and face the back. 3 and triple step. Let's try that again. Walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, and anchor step. Again, walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, and stay right there. Walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, and stay right there. So ladies, when you're doing that turn, I know I'm turning towards my right because he is pointing his fingers that way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If his hands are facing this way, it's impossible for me to turn that way. I have to follow his fingers. The other thing about the tuck, ladies, it's not a spin. You're walking through that turn. Walk, walk, 1, 2, 3. I'm taking 3 steps to get around. 1, 2, 3. A spin is where you just step on one foot. We're not spinning. We're stepping through the turn. The other thing about doing the sugar tuck is right after the sugar tuck, you have to do the right side pass because when you do the sugar tuck, you end up with the funky hand hold. Here's what I mean. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Notice my hand. That's called the funky hand hold, and that doesn't feel good. So Wayne's going to do a right side pass. He's going to check his watch, and that's going to fix my hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now we're back to normal on our hand. So whenever you do a sugar tuck, make sure you do a right side pass. So let's show you all 4 moves you have right now in West Coast swing, starting with the sway on 1, 2. Whenever he's ready, he'll lead you. And walk, walk, 1, 2, 3, and stay right. Left side pass. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. A right side pass. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Again, a right side pass. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. A sugar push. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and stay right there. Again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and now the sugar tuck. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and anchor step. Now you gotta do the right side pass to get out. One more sugar tuck, Wayne, and 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Right side pass. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Anchor step. Very good, Westies. Practice, practice. And on our last tutorial, we're going to talk about an 8-count whip. If you notice, all of our patterns so far have been 6 counts, but our very last pattern is going to be 8 counts. Practice, practice. Westies, welcome to our last tutorial in basic beginning steps for West Coast swing. Today we're going to talk about the 8-count pattern. Whips are 8 counts. Everything we've done up to now has been 6 counts. The footwork is going to change. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's a little different. Okay, I'd like to demonstrate the 8-count whip. We're going to do the open whip so you can see our footwork. It's a little bit easier to see it visually. Wayne, you'd like to join me? So this is to hold 2 hands for this. And same as always, the gentleman's going to take a step back with his left foot on 1. I'm going to go forward. So we're going to do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That's what's different. Let's just try that again. So Wayne stepping back. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. The way Wayne makes me turn is called a J hook. So what he's doing with his with this hand, he's making me turn. So 1, 2. Did you see that? That told me to turn. He gave a little hook, turning me around. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm still coming forward on 3. And when I'm coming forward, my foot should be right in between his 2 feet. Let's try that one more time. So this is important. This is the trickiest part of this whole movement, but once you get it, it's a piece of cake. 1, 2, triple step. Okay, now that I'm here, that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. He's going to flip me again and flip, flip, step, anchor, step. Again, going from the beginning. 1, flip, 2, 1, 2, 3, step, step, anchor, step. Once more, Wayne. 1, flip, 2, anchor, step, flip, step. 1, 2, 3. Once more. Walk, flip, 1, 2, 3, flip, step, 1, 2, 3. Usually I like to say, pretend you got a ponytail and you're flipping your ponytail on 2 and 5. So if you had a ponytail, it would look like this. 1, 2, step, flip, step, anchor, step. Counting the whole thing to the 8-count beat is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. This might be the trickiest one, but if you come to class with a basic understanding of that 8-count whip, we're going to be glad to help you all we can at your very first class for West Coast Swing in Sun City Center. Thank you for watching.